NG Magazine, Nottingham's online diary and entertainment guide, tracking down the hottest events and reviewing them as they happen. So, Craig David, he emerged in 1999 with 2 tracks with The Artful Dodger, Rewind and Woman Trouble. He released his first solo album in 2000, and since then has had more than a dozen top 10 records, including 2 number ones, lots and lots of awards, and he sold 13 million albums, which isn't bad at all. His recent single Hot Stuff, brackets Let's Dance, has reached number 7 from the album Trust Me, which was released in November. Craig's on the phone to us now. Craig, hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Since 2006, when you last released your single, what have you been doing? What have you been up to?
To be honest, I was in the studio for a period of time. I mean, actually, prior to that, I went back to DJing, and I was like buying records, and I just wanted to get back into the scene because I felt that when I'm out traveling and I was out on the road touring, it was really difficult to keep a head on what's actually was going on in the club scene. And that was what I was born out of, being a DJ and working with the Artful Dodger. So pretty much I spent like a good 4 or 5 months just getting back into buying my records, and then I went back into the studio, and that's when I started working on the latest album, Trust Me. And then we ended up going over to Havana in Cuba to actually start recording it, because we wanted to get some great musicians, and we knew that there was some amazing Cuban musicians out there, so that was how the album started to develop.
And is it fair to say that your time in Cuba and getting back into DJing has probably influenced the more upbeat sound of the album?
Definitely. I mean, to be honest, I wanted to have a more up-tempo record on the basis that a lot of the times I'd do like mid-tempo to ballads, and I'd have to go back into the studio, record a remix for the clubs, one for the house clubs, one more kind of like a hip-hop R&B mix, and it just kind of seemed like sort of flood the place with remixes. And I thought, why don't I just make a record that has up-tempo tracks that can play out in these different places? And it was kind of more that frame of mind that I went into with this record. And I just think that we were able to get that live feel from going to Cuba, because I think the musicians had that mentality of like, we're playing for our families here, so they really gave everything they possibly could. But it was definitely a culturally cool experience as well.
And the remix of 6 of 1 is being aired on Trevor Nelson's show on Saturday. Are you fairly involved with that remix then?
Yeah, I mean, I was working with a guy called Ryan Leslie while I was out in Miami over New Year. I was just working on a few tracks with him, and he's got a single called Diamond Girl, which is coming out soon and already picking up a bit of heat. And he's responsible for like Cassie. He's quite a big kind of new artist who's coming through, that he produced all of her albums through Bad Boy, Puffy's label. And I was just working with him, and he goes solo deals sort of coming together, and he wanted to jump on my track because he loved the version of it. So we were working together, and I just felt it would give a slightly different variation of the original, but we didn't go as far as making it some completely different remix that people would be like, I don't know what this is. So we kind of kept a lot of the originality about it.
Fantastic. And do you reckon your time in Cuba, do you reckon that kind of place is a bit more stimulating than, say, a studio in London?
Do you know what? It puts you in the right frame of mind. I mean, in terms of, it's quite primitive in the sense of people come in and they're about, let's play it from start to finish and just capture the moment. And it's almost like trading perfection for performance, because back here in London, I could easily kind of like go through different kind of procedures going back in if I wanted to change something, or if I wasn't feeling I could live with it for a while. And whereas there, it was like, we've got the musicians here for a day, so we need to record this and we need to be happy with it and done. And it was kind of took me out of my comfort zone slightly, but at the same time I think it made me have to step up my game and perform better, and the end result I was really happy with, so it was cool.
A more fluid way of recording a record then?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And your videos too, they're a lot more upbeat, and they're very interesting to watch, really, really good. Cool. Do you have much of an input on the videos?
Yeah, I mean, I work with different kind of different directors, and they'll send over their treatments, which are basically just an outline as to how they see the video being, and I'll just go through it with them and sort of say if there's any ideas that I really feel that I'd like to get across from the song lyrically. But you do have a lot of trust in the director, because obviously he's trying to take your vision that you've had lyrically and put it in a way that people would want to watch that for 3.5 minutes, because certain songs, it's all good trying to have a storyline to them every time, but actually people just want to see 3.5 minutes of fun. To be honest, the most exciting things I see on TV most times are adverts. When you go on, you're like, you see an Adidas advert or a new Nike advert, and you're just like, or a Nissan advert, and you're like, wow, that's hot. So I think people just want to be entertained for 3.5 minutes. So it's a balance of his ideas, your ideas, and just come out with something that will hold people's attention.
Fantastic, and it's they do look fantastic, the videos. And is it fair to say you yourself have gone under a bit of an image transformation?
Do you know what? To be honest, I think it kind of coincided with the fact that I'd just been training like really hard and just was religiously trying to focus on my writing in the studio at the same time, being in the gym, running like a nutter. And I think by the time I actually released the record, I just felt, I guess, my fittest I'd ever felt. And it's just cool for it. It sort of helps you, because I think when you go through numerous different airports and it's easy just to grab for a Big Mac, at least I know that if I grab for the Big Mac, I'm training hard enough to sort of keep it all leveled, because, to be honest, a few Big Macs later, things can have a totally different kind of way with you.
Definitely. And yeah, a lot of people are saying you've come back looking a lot more buff. Do you get a lot more attention off the ladies now?
I think things really changed. I think just people are quite surprised just to think that if you do put your heart and mind into something, you can achieve certain goals. I mean, to be honest, I never was using it to try and achieve like, hey, my next video top's going to come off and be like, yeah, check out my physique. It was more of a personal thing of just like, let me see if I can challenge myself to actually to hit this goal of wherever I wanted to be, and to always kind of feel like you get there, but you always feel you push it again and you want to take it somewhere else. I mean, to be honest, on the girl side of things, I think as long as they're feeling my music, then I'm all good.
Fantastic. And in the past, you've worked with some pretty good artists like Sting and Kano. Have you got any more collaborations lined up?
Well, I've been in talks with Justin Timberlake and Usher many times when I see them, and we always said, come on, let's make something happen. I mean, more recently, the Mobos, I was chatting to Neo, and he was really up for doing something with me. So I mean, there's a lot of cool like collaborations in the pipeline, and I think this year's very much I'm in the frame of mind of like locking things down and actually getting us in the studio to finish things off. So it should be kind of cool.
So some exciting stuff coming up. Definitely. And do you have anything else planned for the near future? I mean, it's been said before that you might go into acting a little bit. Have you still got plans for acting?
Do you know what? To be honest, that acting thing I think is probably one of the last things on my agenda of things to do. I mean, to be honest, unless you're going to act as good as, say, a Morgan Freeman or Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, then you better sort of just relax yourself and be a master of one trade rather than a jack of all. Do you know what I mean? And I think I've seen that too familiar with different artists who kind of feel the natural progression is into acting, and some do pass through and most of them fail because it seems like they're just trying to portray themselves in the videos rather than actually trying to act. So for the meantime, I think I'm just going to like continue on the music side of things. But I'm excited about the new tour, or the world tour we've got in the end of May, which I'm going to be starting, which should be fun.
Cool. And what kind of places are you going to be visiting on the world tour?
We're going to start off through the UK and Europe and work our way all the way out to Southeast Asia. So we'll cover Japan and Australia, and then find our way finishing the tour in America where we release the album and just do some promotion there and do some touring. And hopefully it'll be in the time ready, really, once the cycle's gone through, that I'll be thinking about new material and stuff. So it's quite like a 9-10 month stint now, which would be cool.
Fantastic. And are you planning to come to Nottingham at all?
Do you know what? There's no reason why I won't be up in Nottingham. You know, as soon as I see the itinerary in front of me, then I know exactly the date. So I don't want to say, yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. But to be honest, I've played Nottingham many a time before, so I'd love to come up there on the part of the UK tour and perform out there. It'd be cool.
Well, we look forward to seeing you here. Craig David, thanks very much for speaking to us.
Absolute pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks, man.
NG Magazine, Nottingham's online diary and entertainment guide. Tracking down the hottest events and reviewing them as they happen.